Yeah. This thing. So when we have to define the API product, okay. So API product, as you can recall, in previously also we had covered this. So it is like a collection of APIs or grouping of API from a business point of view. So based on the use cases, whatever consumer need, okay, based on the end consumer application or consumer developer, we can do the grouping or bundling, and they can subscribe to the product while creating that. Okay, so that can be done. So now when we are creating API product, what are different strategy, how we will create API product. Okay, so this is we will cover that thing here. So before understanding API product in traditional sense, what exactly is a product? So in traditional sense, a product is basically so are you able to see my screen now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So in traditional sense, a product is basically a good or service that meets the need of a specific audience or set. I mean, set of people basically, right? So and usually when you purchase any product, whether you television, mobile, whatever, right? Most of the time, when you purchase a product, there is a proper documentation. Sometimes they will have some documentation, something which will tell what are the features, what are the this thing detail about the product, right? And yeah, and how to use it, right? How to use guide, all kind of things. So a lot of things come alongside that, right? Now
Hmm.
and obviously most of the time, unless it is a gift, you have to pay for the product, right? So that in the traditional sense, that is the product definition.
Hmm.
Now same concept is applied in the field of APIs. Okay, so in API field, what we do, we create a package which meets the need of a specific audience. So we have the this thing specific a specific audience, if you have to think from a use case point of view, uh, what exactly the developer will do using my API, what activities that the developer will do. Now, and we are not talking about only one developer. There can be a group of developer. Sometimes there can be one developer or group of developer, right? So we have to think from a generic point of view, not one specific person or this thing. Okay, so for API product also, when we are building API product, we provide a documentation, usually the open API spec. So that documentation specifies what are the features, which are the APIs as part of this product, what are the feature, detail about the API, right, and how to use the API. All kind of information we provide. Okay, so that all these things we provide alongside the product. Then this thing. And obviously but in case of API, we don't always monetize the API. Only in some specific scenario we monetize. So we don't charge for API many times we provide APIs for free. Okay, so we don't really charge. Okay, so but in some specific cases, if there is a requirement, we charge for that. Okay, so we yeah, so we monetize that. Okay, now next thing is no, now the more important question, what are things we have to consider when we are defining the API product? So when we are defining the API product, how we will determine which things to put in the API product and all those stuff. Okay, so when we are thinking from API product point of view, we have to think first, what is the risk level. Okay, so what is the level of access we want to give, or what is the risk involved. So is it for internal customer, internal consumer, or external consumer, or do you want to provide only read only access, or you want to provide read write access. Is it going to be like a freemium kind of API? Is it going to be paid, or is it some premium, what kind of thing I mean, what kind of usage will be there for the API. Okay, so that is one of the questions we should ask ourselves. And then when we are designing, obviously, as I said previously also, we have to think from a consumer point of view. We have to think about that. So our package should be able to solve a business use case. Okay, so for example, if we have a payment API, and then after payment you want to send notification also about the payment. Okay, so you can create one package that will have the payment API as well as the SMS API, create a single package and provide it to them, so consumer can use both the APIs in a single product. Okay, subscribe to product, and that product can have both payment and SMS API. One example. Okay, so now when we are defining the APIs or creating API product, so in many times what happens in a big enterprises, okay, they have a different business unit, correct? So the business unit, usually they want to have their own APIs on their own side. They don't want to share the APIs. But when we are talking from API product point of view, we should not be bothered by which is the business unit, because from a consumer point of view, right? For consumer point of view, your company is a single entity, right? So your enterprise, there can be internal subgroups, groups, business unit, all those things. Those can be multiple, things. But when you are creating a product, right, from a consumer point of view, there can be third party developer. They would not care like which business unit is building API, which business unit is having this API, right? If they see API that belongs to your company, so when we are getting API product, you should not be bogged down by segregation of business unit. Your API, so if API 1 is by one business unit, API 2 is by another business unit. But if there is a use case where you have to combine both of them and create a product, you should be able to do that. You should not be, there should not be any problem in doing it. Okay, that is how we should do. And another very important aspect is that customer needs might change, right? So consumer needs may change over the time. The needs might change, so you should be able to adapt as per that. Okay. And also, lot of time I have seen people work in this way, that they think from a product, project mindset. But we should not think from a project mindset. So when we are dealing with the APIs, we should not think APIs as a project, but we should have a product mindset. Okay, the reason, because the project have a completion date, products do not have completion, right? So as long as there is a demand, you will keep building products. Products should be designed based on the business requirement. Okay, a project is only for like one single person, right? So based on one single person what they want, it is like one specific. But products are more generic in nature, right? And product need to adapt as per the to the market need over the time. So product adapt as per that, so you keep enhancing your products and all. And when we are dealing with the APIs or we are building APIs, we have to think from a product point of view, and it should not be like project kind of thing. So it should not be like for this project we have some set of APIs, but for project 2, if another project comes, we cannot use the API of project 1. It should not be the case. If there is a requirement that that your company is building multiple products or multiple projects, and if there is a chance that APIs from one project can be used for in another project, we should go ahead and use it. We should not like reinvent the wheel, or you know uh, create a second set of API for second project. That should not be the case. Okay, so that is yeah, so that is how in field of APIs, at least that is how we should go about it. Now in API product, we will take one example from a retail sector. So we will this thing. So on the from a retail world. So now here this is the example. So now there is a big company. That company sells household item. It's the in the showroom. So company has various showrooms, like for example IKEA or Target, or even Reliance, Digital, Reliance Flash, whatever. Any big company. Okay, take any company for example. So that company sells uh, various household items. Okay, so company sells various household items. Then in that company there is an inventory team that is responsible for creating inventory tracking and restocking apps. So that inventory team is going to build one app, okay, that is for inventory tracking and restocking. Okay, to run the business, manage inventories and all those stuff. Now for that app, okay, for that app, uh, you have built APIs. So that APIs will be, we have two APIs. One is inventory API. Inventory API have three operations: view and update inventory. Sorry, two operations, in view and update. And then restocking API has three operations. You can view, place and track restocking. So total five operations in two APIs. Just give me another couple of minutes. I'm getting a call from office. So here we have two basically APIs. In two APIs, we have total five operations. Inventory has two operations: view and update inventory. Restocking has three operations: view, place, track. Okay, three. And now it is built by inventory team. and the same team is also owner of the app. So it is built by the same team. So it is the same team which is building API and same team which is building the app. So it is owned by the both API and app owned by the same team. Now because APIs are owned by the same team which is building the app, so what we can do is we will create one inventory product which has all the access, because single product, because from that app you need all access, right? You want to do all the operation. So you create one product called inventory product. That product is the now that product becomes this thing, all access, right? All access, which is used by the inventory app. Okay, so you build one product. Now over the time, after some time, what happens, there are other internal teams. So there are other internal teams which are from the same company but different teams, but they also want to call inventory APIs. Okay, they also want to call those inventory APIs. However, you cannot give them update access, right? You can only give them read only access, right? Because if they are able to update, because they should not be allowed to update the API or update the systems, because they are different teams, right? Only inventory team members should be able to update. So what you can do is you can create another product for their application. So if they're building another app, okay, for another internal app, it can be multiple teams also, right? So there can be multiple teams, and the same app can be used by multiple teams. So all the other teams which are part of the same company, for them, all different teams, you get a single product called inventory read only product. In the read only, you only give them the get API access, not no post or put. Okay, all the only get call, so read only access. Okay, so that you can create, so only read only access. Okay, so that product you can create, and that product can be used by all the internal teams. All the other internal teams which are not part of the which are different from the main inventory team, they can access, they can use this product and access APIs where they can do the get call and read the data. So only read only. Okay, so for all the things, so you get second product. So now we have same set of API. You can see here APIs are still same, right? APIs are same, just that we created two products for the same set of APIs. So one is the full access, another one is a read only access. Okay, now after some time, this if it is a big company, big enterprise, right, what happens, their store or showrooms are very popular. So what happens, a third party developer can come. Now third party developer comes and they say, we want to build app. Okay, third party app. In my app, people can only, before anyone goes to your showroom, before going to your showroom, people can check, okay, if the item is in your stock or not. Because if they if they go to store and they don't find the item, it will be waste of time for them. So what people can do, here they can type whatever item they are looking for, and I can make API call, provide them the response that item is in the stock or not. So this is like a value add, right? So third party developer can build something which is like a value add for your customer. Okay, so what you can do for the third party developer, okay, who are external developer, for third party you get another product. That product will only have access to one API. That product will only have one access to one API, and that API will be to check the item is in the stock or not. Okay, so that's it. So within the inventory API, only one operation. So you are going to give a single operation access to that. So within the inventory API, if they want to check if item is in the stock or not, that's it. So only for one. So that way you create another product, and that external product for external developer. Okay, so that you can do. So that way you are controlling access, because you cannot give all the even all the read only access to a third party developer, right? Because many times there can be sensitive information that you don't want to expose. So for third party developer, you can create another one where you will check only if item is in the stock or not, only for that. So like there, it is like a just a value add. So now for the same one, you are getting third product, right? So we have only total, as you can see, total five operations, two APIs, five operations. And for those only, based on the different use cases, different kind of audience or consumers, we are creating product. So one is full product, second is read only for internal, third is for external third party developer, right? So third product we can create. Now another uh, uh, use case can be a partner. So there can be partners. The partner want to improve their applications by knowing if item is in the stock or not. So first they can make a call to do the stock check, if item is in the stock or not. Now if item is not in the stock, they want to make another API call to see when it will be back in the stock. So what is the restocking option? So when in the restocking, when the item is back in the stock, so they want two APIs, one to check the stock which is already given to external developer, but they want one more. Okay, because they are partners. So for partner you can in order to enhance experience for your partners, you can provide one more API. That API will tell them what is the restocking status when when the item is coming back in the stock. So what you can do is, for partner, you can get product. In the product you can have these two APIs, and you can name it as a gold product, because so if you are a partner, you are like gold product. And for third party developer, you can name it as a silver product, just for naming point of view. Okay, so this is what you can. So based on different use cases, different kind of developers or consumers, you can build your API product accordingly, as you can see. So this is how you can go ahead and build it. Okay, so the same set of API, same proxies, but for a different use case, you are getting different product, and that way you are controlling the access, and you are only exposing the APIs which the specific kind of consumer want, right? So if the partner want, the partner, you will have a gold product. Another third party developer, you will just get that silver product only for one API. Internal teams can get read only, and main team, anyways, that is only one customer, you will have the full access. Okay, so like this. So the top takeaways from here is, you have to adopt a product mindset. You have to package APIs to solve specific problems. Okay, and obviously app developer won't care which department or which business unit is building your APIs and all those stuff, right? So I mean we cannot create API product based on the business unit, right? So we should create um, sorry. So we should create a product, okay, from the consumer point of view, and we should not get product from a business unit point of view. Okay, and then obviously we are using API product to manage the access and risk. As you can see, different kind of team, different type of consumers we are going to, you know and we, based on that only, we get product, and we adapt to the changes. So as I said, so you start with product one, but then different kind of use case come, another product for that use case, another use case, so you adapt to change. Okay, so yeah. Now coming to one thing, which is monetization. So APG has this API monetization. However, API monetization that APG provides, okay, no, I mean, people don't use this APG monetization. They use the concept of monetization, but in a different way. So we don't need APG monetization module. So APG has built a monetization module, okay, so which is where some part is done in APG. Some part is in APG platform, the gateway, and some part is on the portal, APG portal, which is in Drupal. So Drupal portal. So APG has two kind of parts, two parts of the monetization, and you have to purchase separate license for monetization. Normal APG does not come with monetization. You have to purchase separate license. Okay. So monetization provides this easy and flexible way to monetize the API, so that you can monetize, or or if you, some app developer is making call to your payment API, and using that, they are using your payment API to do the payment and increase your revenue, then you can share the revenue with the developer. Okay, so you can do the sign up, you can set up the billing process, credit card payment, monetization report, everything is there in the portal. So from portal also you can do. This is what APG has, this module of the portal can be built in a Drupal. So that you have, so if you are using APG monetization, then from developer portal point of view, you have to use a Drupal portal only. That is the only way, where from Drupal portal, a Drupal developer portal, it will call the APG monetization APIs. And it is available only for enterprise offerings. So all the enterprise, even public cloud version has the monetization, private cloud, both can use monetization, but obviously from the developer portal point of view, you have to use the Drupal one. Okay. Now the question comes, which API is to monetize, right? So in API, that is to build the consumer experience, okay, only for experience point of view, and that will drive the indirect value. Okay, So like ticket booking API, store location API, product availability, item is in the stock or not, those kind of things. Those APIs will be available for free. Now paid one, if using your API, if any consumer developer is able to build revenue generating apps, okay, so like weather data, SMS, stock market, those kind of, those kind of things. So using your APIs, if someone is able to build revenue generating apps, you can use them for charging purpose, okay, like that. So those kind of API you can monetize, okay. So that lab will do. So this lab we will do day after tomorrow. So tomorrow what we'll do is um, with Raju will do the lab number 2, okay, and then day after we will do lab number 3 where have the API product developer and API keys, okay. So that will do day after tomorrow, okay. And then there is another supplemental lab. So if you get time, you can do on your own. So using the supplemental, there are folders, okay. Using that folder, you can use that to do some lab for your own. So you can follow that step by step guide and yeah, do that lab, okay.
Okay.
So that also so that is like in your own time you can do that. Now
Okay.
in APG monetization there is some concept. So in here we have API product, but with monetization APG now has API package. So API package is like collection of product plus rate plans. So here like multiple product, and for each product you assign a transaction recording policy. In transaction recording policy you have to specify what will be constituted as a successful transactions. For example, in some scenario, you want to wait for backend for 200 response, that will be success. In some scenario, regardless of 200 or whatever, as long as you are able to hit the backend, I will charge. Like this also, right? Anything. So based on that, you can define success scenario, like what will be like the transaction recording. So what will create like the what will be treated as a successful transaction, okay. And then you have the rate plan. So in the rate plans you can specify what the cost and all of the API usage. So you create API packages. In package you have even group of API product, and then you can assign rate plan to that, and then app developer will subscribe to rate plan, okay. They will subscribe to package, and then with package they have to subscribe to rate plan, okay. So there are different revenue models. So for rate plan there are different options APGs provides. So like you have a fees model where you API provider will charge for a fees. So you charge for fees. You can have prepaid or postpaid. Sorry. Here you can create a fee only plan, or you can add fee to a plan. Then API provider will you can have a rate card kind of thing where API provider will charge based on the usage. So like 1,000 APIs this much, this API this much, and all those stuff. And it is high. Here you can do the lot of customization, and you can combine this rate card with revenue sharing also. Now another one is the revenue sharing. So in the revenue sharing, the provider will pay the developer, okay. In other ways, all the other you developer will pay to provider, but here in revenue sharing, so if developer is providing API calls, they are using your API and using those APIs, if you are generating revenue. So if someone is building an app and using that app, if your revenue is getting generated, then what you can do is you can share the revenue with the consumer, okay, like this. So that you can do. So you can have a fixed percentage or variable percentage, and you can combine with the rate plan. Or what you can do is for subscribing API you will charge them a fees, and then when actual API call comes you can share your revenue. So that can happen. So a lot of models are there, and APG supports all common rate plan models. And then you have a lot of notifications and all based on the various events. APG can generate yeah, trigger notification, all those stuff. And there you have a freemium kind of thing, so where you can either provide a few number of API call, or for a certain duration, so like trial period. So like either you can have 100 API call for free, and after that you can charge, or you can provide like 15 days free, after 15 days charge, like this, okay. Or you can combine, so 100 APIs or 100 API call or 15 days, whichever comes first, that is after that you can start charging. So that is like freemium.